From far and wide, Oilers fans, this is Dolynny TV. And welcome back to another edition of Oilers Talks here on Dolynny TV. I am Tyson Dolynny, your host of Oilers Discussions on Dolynny TV. Guys, a reminder that if you're looking to follow the action in tonight's hockey game between the St. Louis Blues and Edmonton Oilers, you can follow me on Twitter to get my up-to-date take and kind of comments, opinions, and thoughts as the game progresses along. And without further ado, let's get right to previewing tonight's matchup against the St. Louis Blues for the Edmonton Oilers. It's going to be a good one, okay? So there's a couple of big storylines here for the Oilers, and I think the biggest one we're going to have to talk about is going to Cam Talbot after a loss by Mikko Koskinen. How important of a kind of situation is that for Koskinen and, of course, for Cam Talbot? The bigger thing here is, again, Ken Hitchcock has kind of been okay. You know what? I like both guys. That's what he personally said. That's a quote. And you got to go look at it. He likes both guys. He's got to give a guy a shake in terms of Talbot at some point, or else like the move needs to be made to trade him. He is open on the trading block, and that's the reason we haven't seen anything happen, is because he's going to start tonight, right? So if he's starting tonight, after a loss by Koskinen, it's a backup role, right? You've got games on the road, 2-game road trip. It's not the traditional, oh man, okay, backup starts. No. This is a lot more of a shot for Cam Talbot to come in, show what he's got, earn a second start, not necessarily next game, but the game after that. That's kind of the deal. I think Koskinen, no matter what, has the next start for the Oilers, but tonight it's up to Cam Talbot to show and prove that he can get the job done, that he can go in there, put up a good number against St. Louis. I mean, St. Louis, let's go check the standings here. I should have had that ready for you. But the Central Division standings are going to be interesting because if I remember correctly, people are saying that, yes, sir, the Central Division is going to take both wild cards this season. So let's see, Central Division table, that is what I'm looking for. So it's the Blues and Oilers this evening. And St. Louis, well, this is a good thing for the Oilers. Maybe after facing Dallas, which is a playoff team at this point. Now for St. Louis being a 21-point team, 9 wins in 25 games, they are a terrible club this year. Cam Talbot gets the chance to show and prove. This is a confidence booster, like I'm saying, for Cam Talbot 100%. Ken Hitchcock knows what the St. Louis Blues are going to try and do tonight. Of course, desperate hockey and trying to kind of set back guys similar to their situation in the other division, right? So it's a tough call for Ken Hitchcock to make, I think. But knowing that Mikko Koskinen took the loss last game, it makes it easier to allow Cam Talbot that chance. And that's exactly what it is a chance for Cam Talbot to show and prove, like I said, and hopefully get a start, not next game, but the game after. As I think Ken Hitchcock would be an absolute fool, as he has shown not to be in his first few games, to turn back to Koskinen in the next game. So there you go. That's storyline number 1 for the Edmonton Oilers. Cam Talbot in net against the St. Louis Blues. Many of you guys would go and say, well, that's a guaranteed loss for the Edmonton Oilers, and that was the topic of my discussion poll on Twitter today at Dolynny TV. That is a reminder. You can follow me at Dolynny TV, as I said off the opening. I asked Oilers fans today's poll, with Talbot in net, I feel blank about tonight's game against the St. Louis Blues. 3 answers on the board. 5% said they were confident on 22% of the vote. That is not a good number to be backing Cam Talbot tonight. Oilers fans, very well to be skeptical. 64% said they are worried about tonight's game against the St. Louis Blues with Cam Talbot in net on 22 votes. And 31% said they are neutral. So there's kind of that middle ground, right? You've got a majority that have kind of sold the ship to Koskinen per se and nailed him as the starter, and I'd say very fair. I had my video in November 12th saying that Koskinen should be the starter. However, there are some holdouts that still say Cam Talbot, man, he's the man. He just needs to get his groove back. Just got to give him the chance to get his groove back. He's had a lot of chances this year, guys. I think he's on a 6-game losing streak right now, and he still hasn't figured it out. But 31% are kind of neutral. They're just sitting there, you know what, it's okay. So 36 are neutral or confident. So Cam Talbot, we're going to see. What does he have tonight? I've already talked about it. Don't need to talk about it more with you now, because we have to get to more pressing matters. I don't know which to lead with next. However, I think the bigger news is Connor McDavid is back in the lineup for the Edmonton Oilers tonight. So there you go, right? Hopefully that is the spark we're looking for. The team really didn't play without its captain that well. The other game, Dallas able to bounce back after a 1-0 loss the other night. So balance it out. It'll happen. Shake it off. And now with Cam Talbot in net and Connor McDavid up on the top line again, you just hope he goes out there, runs the show, and gets the pucks into the back of the net. That's literally all we can do at this point. We just got to hope that Connor McDavid picks up where he left off. Obviously, he should be able to. It's not like he had a 20-day flu and lost 50 pounds or anything. But what I'm saying is Connor McDavid's got to go out there and lead and just bring his boys back from being a lost cause against Dallas to now, all of a sudden, hey, we're Ken Hitchcock's Oilers. We know how to win. Let's keep doing that. That's exactly what just has to happen. Connor McDavid, he's the captain. Lead by example. That's why he's the captain. Get it done. The other bit of news that the Oilers are kind of concerned about, I guess you could say, is Drake Caggiula is out tonight with a hand injury. It's said to be minor, so we're going to see what exactly that means for the Oilers. I think this is a very smart coaching move by Ken Hitchcock because, guys, honestly, minor hand issues barely keep NHL players out of the lineup on regular nights. Although tonight against a weaker club, like I said, in St. Louis, and then also in a situation where we lost last game, why would you want to risk losing a player the next game, right? So if Drake Caggiula is banged up a little bit, sit him tonight. Same thing with McDavid the other game, right? He probably could have played with the hand injury, or with the sickness, pardon me. Caggiula, let's just sit down for a second, shall we? So McDavid could have played with sickness, probably, but sit him, let him rest, get him strong for 81 this year. Caggiula, same theory. Just let him rest his hand, see if it's good to go, and don't risk losing him long term because, guys, as Oilers fans, we know very, very well what happens when a guy plays through an injury one night, plays the next night, and gets banged up 100 times worse. Suddenly you're talking 3, 4, 5 guys are on the IR. We've got half of Bakersfield up here, and the season is lost in December. We can't afford to do that again. Ken Hitchcock, a smart coach, knows the Oilers can't afford to do that, and that's exactly what he's doing by sitting Caggiula tonight and getting Patrick Russell back into the lineup. So the Danish wonder, Patrick Russell, back in the lineup tonight to see what he can do to keep sticking with his club. Obviously, he's been sent down once since his first recall. He's still with the club now again. So he's battling his way onto that fourth line, keeping himself in the loop. And that's all you can ask out of a fourth line player. Earn your spot in the lineup. It appears as though, according to practice, I believe it was Reed Wilkins who had the tweet, or Jack Michaels, I'm not 100% sure. Yesterday, practice featured the Lucic, Brodziak, Kassian line as the predominant fourth line in practice reps. So it'll be interesting to see maybe if Ken Hitchcock tonight is going to lower the minutes for the fourth line and see what they can do in a limited capacity and give Spooner a bigger crack on what he can do. And with the effect of Caggiula being in the lineup, yes, I said Patrick Russell is with Spooner and Ratty. That means Jujhar Khaira is going to move up to the second line with Nugent Hopkins and Puljujarvi. I like Khaira. Khaira, you know what? He played very well with Strome last year and really filled out the third line when we really were asking ourselves what the hell we were doing at times last year. Now, Khaira gets a chance. He's been on a little bit of a tear lately. Go out there, make your space, do your thing, and maybe get a couple of points with RNH and Puljujarvi. Caggiula and Khaira, they fill similar roles. Caggiula, I feel, is a lot more offensive than Khaira per se, but you know what? Khaira has that streak where if he gets hot, he can go and get a couple of points in the back of the net, and that's exactly what Ken Hitchcock's betting on tonight. If Khaira gets out there and throws 3 or 4 pucks on net, one goes in, one gets a tip, he gets a goal and an assist, and the second line has like 3 points combined, 5 points combined, whatever, that's going to be a massive boost against the St. Louis Blues, especially with Cam Talbot in net. So guys, in terms of what I'm expecting for the Oilers tonight, I would have to say I'm expecting a win. Now that kind of contradicts my lack of faith in terms of Mr. Cam Talbot. Yeah, it kind of contradicts it, doesn't it? Yeah. But what I'm saying is it might not be the worst game out of Talbot, and the game offensively should be the best. That's what I'm hoping for. If the offense is high flying and Cam Talbot can keep it to 3 goals, we win this game. So I'm looking for a 5-3, 6-3 victory out of the Oilers tonight. Hopefully don't run into a hot goalie like we have at times this year and kind of screw ourselves that way. But either way, guys, I'm Tyson. This is Dolynny TV. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's Oilers discussion on my channel. I will catch you guys in the next one. I am up on out of here.